divorce. Just the word can make anyone break into a cold sweat. But here is the truth. It doesn't have to destroy your life or your sanity. Today, we're breaking down the 10 most important divorce tips you absolutely need to know, plus one extra bonus tip at the end that can save you weeks of stress and confusion. Before we dive in, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, subscribe, and comment below what legal topics you want me to tackle next. And if you know someone who's navigating the choppy waters of divorce, don't just send them flowers. Send them this video. Trust me, they'll thank you later, probably with coffee. Quick reminder, I'm not your lawyer, and I don't know the specifics of your case. Divorce laws differ significantly by state. This is educational content, so treat it as a roadmap. If you're ever unsure, please consult with a licensed professional in your area. Got it? Cool. Let's get started. Tip number 1. Know your grounds for divorce. Now, this is a big one. Some states are no-fault states, which means you don't have to prove your spouse did anything wrong. You simply claim irreconcilable differences. Sounds simple, right? It basically means you just can't get along anymore. However, other states still have fault-based divorces. This might involve proving things like adultery, abandonment, or the infamous cruel and inhuman treatment. The court wants to see serious, legally recognized issues, not just that you argued about the milk being left on the counter again. I once saw a couple argue for hours in a deposition about who gets the cat. I'll tell you right now, judges really don't care about the cat, unless it's somehow tied to a custody issue involving the children. The bottom line is, you need to focus on legally valid grounds. Here, as a pro tip, start a journal or a document and jot down every important fact, date, and conversation. When the court asks you questions, you'll be prepared and won't be stuck trying to explain something like, well, he just never ever took out the trash. It just doesn't fly. Tip number 2 is about paperwork. Get ready for it. Divorce is about 20% emotions and 80% paperwork. I'm talking petitions, custody forms, financial disclosures, enough to make a small forest cry. A pro tip from me to you. Organize everything meticulously from day one. Use folders, color code them. Scan every single document into a digital file. This way, if a judge suddenly requests a tax return from 2 years ago, you won't have a full-blown panic attack. Being prepared saves you weeks of frustration and can save you money in legal fees. Here's an extra tip. Make a checklist for each step of the process. Crossing items off that list feels surprisingly satisfying. It gives you a tangible sense of control when everything else in your life feels completely chaotic. All right, tip number 3, custody battles. Let me tell you the golden rule here. The court's primary focus, and I mean its only focus, is the best interest of the child. It's not about who has the latest sneakers, the fanciest toys, or the bigger house. For example, if one parent works 80 hours a week and the other is home full-time, the court might favor the more present parent. Why? Because stability matters more than luxury in a child's life. I remember a case where a father tried to win custody by showing off all the iPads and video games he bought for the kids. The judge basically said, cute, but completely irrelevant. The lesson here is to focus on what actually matters to the court: routines, schooling, emotional stability, and which parent can provide a consistent, loving environment. Moving on to tip 4, property division. This is where things can get heated. There are 2 main systems in the U.S. Some states are community property states, which generally means a 50-50 split of all marital assets. Other states use equitable distribution, which means the division will be fair, but not necessarily equal. You might not walk away with exactly half of everything. The court will consider factors like the length of the marriage, each spouse's income, and their future earning potential. And no, just because you bought the couch doesn't automatically give you rights to it unless it is specifically addressed in your settlement. A bit of humor here. Arguing over the toaster in court. Don't be that person. I've seen it happen, and I can promise you, the judge will roll their eyes and probably tell you both to grow up. Tip 5. Alimony is not punishment. It's important to understand this. Alimony, or spousal support, is meant to help a spouse get back on their feet financially. If one partner stayed home to raise the children while the other built a career, it's only fair that they receive some support. Think about it. A doctor earning 6 figures is married to a spouse who hasn't worked in 10 years to manage the household. In that scenario, courts will very likely require some form of spousal support. Think of it as covering their rent and Netflix subscription while they get back into the workforce. It's about fairness, not revenge. Tip number 6 will save you a world of hurt. Try mediation. Mediation saves time, money, and a ton of emotional energy. A neutral third-party mediator helps you and your spouse find common ground without having to go into a full-blown courtroom battle. I've seen couples argue for weeks over who gets the dog, only to have a mediator help them solve it in a single afternoon. It's like having a referee for two angry cats. It's difficult, but it's much better than letting them go at it in the chaos of a courtroom. It keeps you in control of the outcome, instead of leaving it up to a judge who doesn't know you. Tip number 7. Social media can absolutely ruin your case. I cannot stress this enough. Posting pictures of a brand new car while you're claiming you're broke, or writing angry posts bad-mouthing your ex. Guess what? Judges and opposing lawyers will see it. They look for this stuff. An extra tip for you: screenshots last forever. Even if you delete that post, the digital footprints remain. The best policy is to stay off social media, or at the very least, be incredibly mindful of what you post. Don't give the other side any ammunition to use against you. Tip number 8 is about courtroom etiquette. Dress professionally, arrive on time, and always respect the judge. Address the judge as Your Honor. This might sound basic, but you'd be surprised. There's a real story about someone who showed up to their court hearing in pajamas. The judge was not impressed, to say the least. Treat every court appearance like the most serious job interview of your life, not like you're just showing up for a Netflix binge session. First impressions matter, especially with the person deciding your future. Tip number 9, divorce is expensive. Lawyer fees, court costs, filing fees, maybe even alimony. It all adds up. Don't go into this process blind. You need to track every single expense. Try to save money ahead of time if you can, and anticipate surprises. Creating a financial plan, even a simple one, gives you a sense of control when everything feels like it's spiraling. It helps you make rational decisions instead of emotional ones driven by financial panic. And finally, tip number 10. Divorce is emotionally draining. You need support. Whether it's therapy, a support group, or just leaning on good friends, it's crucial. I like to use this analogy. Going through a divorce is like trying to run a marathon while carrying a giant stack of paperwork instead of a water bottle. You need hydration stations along the way. Your emotional health is an asset in this process, so treat it like one. An extra tip here is journaling. It can help you gain clarity, process your feelings, and reduce the urge to make impulsive, emotionally driven decisions that you might regret later. And now for my personal bonus tip, the one I promised you at the beginning. It's this: think long term. Every single decision you make during your divorce, from custody arrangements to financial settlements to who gets the house, will have lasting consequences. It's easy to get caught up in winning the small battles right now, but try to take a deep breath, step back, and strategize for your future. Don't rush into a settlement just to get it over with. Your future self, the one who is happy and thriving 5 years from now, will thank you for being patient and strategic today. So there you have it. Those were the 10 must-know divorce tips, plus one bonus from me. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you learned something new today, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who might need it. Stay tuned for more legal lifesavers coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching.